let's talk about last night's episode of Love Island. But first, let's create some rules of engagement. Okay? Number one rule of engagement, we are not being disrespectful to one another. I'm not taking no disrespect. Any colorism, any racism, any of that is not allowed here. We're not doing it. So before y'all engage in this live, let's be crystal clear on what our rules of engagement are, because I don't want anyone to think that that's what this is, because I'm not tolerating that. I'm not having no conversations about that. Also, these are my opinions, so if you don't like them, sorry. And that's okay. We can agree to disagree. And it is a reality show, and let's remember to keep that in mind as we're engaging in this conversation, because I don't want people doing too much. All right, so last night's episode. Last night's episode had my heart in my ass, okay? Last night's episode had my heart in my ass, because the way that they decided to play with us like that and have us on eggshells the entire time was crazy. So let me start off by saying this, because I feel like I have to address the mean girl comments about Shelly, Olanda, and Sierra. I am never going to agree with anyone about Shelly and Olanda and Sierra being mean girls, and let me explain why before y'all do too much. Shelly and Olanda have quite literally been some of the most patient people this entire season. They have literally gone out of their way to play nice this entire season. We haven't seen Shelly frown, not even once this season. You're talking about, and I'm speaking specifically right now on Olanda and Shelly. They have had to go out of their way to smile even when it feels hard, even when people are playing in their face. They have been nothing but respectful this entire season. They have shown grace, and people have continued to say that Olanda showed grace in this entire, she said it herself, like, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to get upset, I'm not going to yell at nobody. She has been nothing but graceful. In fact, it's so interesting to me how many people forget that they were calling her the villa therapist for mad long, because all she does is listen to people's problems, all while she's going through her own bullshit. I just want to be clear. Shelly has smiled this entire time, even when Ace has played with her, even when she wasn't chosen, even through all the things. She has done nothing but smile. She has literally smiled this entire time. She's been a breath of fresh air. The reason everybody loves her is because Shelly's always in good spirits. The fact that these two dark-skinned black women finally showed any emotion, and people are screaming to the top of their lungs that they are mean girls, is steeped in colorism. It is. And the reason that it is because dark-skinned black women are not allowed to show emotions. First of all, it's steeped in misogyny. Let's start there, because people don't like when women show any form of emotion. They tell them they're too sensitive, they're overreacting, they're aggressive. Not to mention that these two black women have been composed this entire episode. And I would argue that if I were in that situation, I would have crashed out a long fucking time. Let me tell y'all something. If I had been them, my composure would have been lost episodes ago. So y'all are not going to tell me that a glimpse of them finally sharing how they really feel is them being mean girls. They weren't mean to anyone last night. They were simply honest. And the reason people are calling them mean girls is because they want to tone police them. They want to tone police black women. I've been in this situation many a times where I've had to argue people down. They want to tone police black women, and they want to tell them how they should sound and what their crash out should look like. And because they don't want them, because y'all want them to show up prissy, prim, and proper, and y'all want them to keep smiling and to be graceful and all the things, and the minute that they felt a little bit of emotion, damn near tears, people are saying that they're mean girls, and that to me is the most ass take I've ever heard in my entire life. Say y'all don't agree with what they're doing. Say you don't agree with their opinions, fine. But mean girls is absolutely diabolical and insane because they've been nothing but nice to everyone in the villa this entire season. So that to me is just an ass take. So I'm sorry, but Shelly and Olanda specifically can get behind me because one thing I'm doing is standing on business. The other person I'm going to say that about is Amaya. I don't like how they weaponize Amaya's feelings. I don't like how they weaponize Amaya's I don't like how they weaponize Amaya expressing how she feels. Yes, she cries a lot, and maybe for some people that don't work, but y'all cannot make somebody feel bad for being an emotional person. That to me is trash. The other thing is that all of them are clowns because y'all stood up and matched with her and all this other stuff and nobody said nothing. And now all of a sudden everybody got a mouthpiece. And that to me is corny. So I don't agree with what they did to Amaya last night. I truly feel like that was trash. And that's that on that. Now that we've gotten that out the way, because first of all, Shelly and Olanda, Amaya, Shelly, Olanda, Amaya, Ace, Sierra, and Nick could get behind me because I'm standing on business behind them, and I will explain Ace in a second because I know y'all got beef with Ace. There's that. But I'm going to be fair. So let's talk about the triangle between Olanda, Taylor, and Olanda, Taylor, and Clark. I will say this. I'm so happy to see Olanda crash out behind the situation that she's in. I was actually so happy to hear her finally stop trying to be composed because the truth of the matter is she's been putting on this composure because she knows she has to and she's on television. I needed her to say this episodes ago and just be what it was. Okay? I needed her to stand on business mad long ago because that's a well-deserved crash out. The reason that she deserved that crash out is because Taylor wasn't being upfront with her. He was not being honest. He was being a herb. And I truly hate that she gave him this moment. I wish she would have done it earlier so that way he didn't feel empowered and emboldened because I feel like she gave him the ability to feel empowered. I wish she would have cut it earlier and she didn't. So we're where we're at. But I feel like that was fine for her to do. She didn't do nothing wrong. In fact, I feel like when she was addressing Clark and Clark shared, first of all, Clark's note was stupid, but okay. When Clark shared that she felt like Olanda was disrespecting her by saying that her and Taylor's situation was just a test, it was funny to me because Olanda said, congratulations. She ate down with that I'm not going to lie to y'all. She ate down with that congratulations. And she also apologized. She said, if I made you feel that way, that wasn't my intention. Here's how I describe all things. So like, I don't want you to take it personally, blah, blah. She even said sorry, which to me, I wouldn't even say sorry because what did you write it for? And then what was corny about Clark is that you turned around and said, yeah, I knew what you meant. So why did you write it on the paper? Why did you write it on a paper? Like, I don't understand. Why did you need to tell us that? You were looking for a moment. You wanted someone to pay attention to you because you went in there talking about, oh, I know everybody's going to have something to say about me. No one wrote anything about Clark. Clark got 0 notes. She got 0 playtime. No one said anything about you. You didn't open a box one time. Nobody cared about any. You really overstretched it. You really thought you was giving main character energy and nobody asked you nothing. Because the truth of the matter is, in this love triangle, you're not even close to the main character. The main characters are still Taylor and Olanda. You are a sub-character. You're an extra. And I was defending her this whole time. But when Taylor did the cornball shit that he did and got up there and said, well, since y'all want me to pick, and Clark chuckled, okay, that's when I was done with her. Because I literally was defending this lady because I felt like she didn't do nothing wrong, blah, blah. But all of the things that people were saying about you were true when you did that little chuckle to try to make it seem like you was cute because Taylor picked you. And to be quite honest, Taylor picking you is kind of corny after what just played out. You shouldn't be excited. You shouldn't feel happy about yourself. That is childish as hell. Taylor is a child. And I'm sad that it took Olanda so long to know that he was a child. I'm sad that she had to wait until this moment to be like, how old are you? because she should have been asking him that, and that's the larger issue. The reason, let's call a spade. The reason Taylor likes Clark better than Olandria is because Olandria is too serious for him. Olandria is a grown woman who is serious and about her business. Taylor is a child. He's giddy, he walks around, he acts like he's 5 years old, and she is not going to tolerate that, and he knows that. And he knows that Clark will. And so because he knows that Clark will, he likes Clark better. And he said that. I can be a child around her. I can be a kid around her. You keep telling us you want to be a child so bad, so stay in a child's place. Okay? Also, he's corny because he just wanted to hurt Olandria's feelings. He wanted to hurt Olandria's feelings, and that's why I don't respect it. Because people keep saying, well, he got up there and he said what he needed to say. He said what he needed to say in a way that he wanted to embarrass her. So you got up there and you said, oh, you want me to do things for you and I'm doing things for me. And then you turned around, oh, y'all want me to pick somebody? I'm going to pick Clark. Negro, sir, you could have said that mad long ago. If you feel that affirmed, if you feel that wholeheartedly about your decision that you said it with your chest like that, you could have said it mad long ago. I fear that you think you ate and you did not eat. You did not eat in that moment. You're actually really corny for the way you played that. The way you played that was so corny. It was whack. Like you get no brownie points for that. You actually get put in the lame seat. You get to sit at the kids' table. And Clark laughing and chuckling at it, you can sit at the kids' table as well. You need to go home. You're done. Now it's clipped for you. And we was trying so hard to support you. Now, that's the biggest part of the tea. I'm going to go through some of the small ones so that we can get to the bigger ones, the more important ones. Pepe trying to press Sierra, Olandria, and Shelly about Hannah going home is childish. It was corny. Like, it was so corny. Why are you bringing that up? I think Sierra absolutely handled it well, and I think she answered it the way that she was supposed to. But he's corny for that. Let it go. You literally was in a villa with this lady with Hannah for what, 2 days? I guess she gave you a little coochie. I get it. You got a little side of coochie. We saw her lick the fingers and stick it in. But what you didn't see was that she was crashing out about, oh boy, what's his name, not being there no more. Charlie. You didn't see that she decided she didn't want you and that she regretted the fact that she explored with you because she was high in the ass and she wanted Charlie. You didn't see her saying that she was fully on Charlie and after exploring with you, she didn't want you no more. And they was being nice. They spared your feelings. Because to me, I would have said, well, the truth is that she had just said the night before that she didn't want you. She wanted Charlie. That she explored with you, but she thought there was a thing, and it made her realize she wanted Charlie more. So she need to go home with Charlie. She need to go home with Charlie. What is she here for? What we going to keep her in the villa for? Her man is at home. He went back to the UK for the day. So what do you, I don't understand why you so pressed about it. And they was being nice. But for you to bring that up, corny, boo, tomatoes. Oh, I feel like y'all chose wrong. We don't care what you feel because she's gone. Okay? Now, the one thing I will respect is that, and I don't really respect it in that I felt like he went about it wrong. But old girl that he's coupled up with, I don't know her name because she also is a snooze fest to me. But old girl that he's coupled up with, he was going to tell her tonight that it wasn't it. Grayson. He was going to tell her last night that it wasn't it. He just got beat to the punch. And she was in her feelings about it, like, that makes me feel weird, and what are you saying about me? And he basically was like, listen, it is what it is. And she was mad, and he was like, it's fine. So I will say, at least he stood on business about that, but Grayson, pack it up. I don't know. If you wasn't reading the room, the man was showing you signs he wasn't messing with you. I'll give him credit because he was going to stand on business about that. He didn't get the chance to, but here we are, and it happened, and at least he didn't lie. He could have stood up there and lied and said, maybe, blah, blah, but he didn't. So I'm going to respect it. Respect is given. You know what I'm saying? But I also think you're corny because you're trying to press everybody about Hannah Banana. Hannah Banana is somewhere in the UK finding her banana Charlie, okay? She's licking her fingers to let Charlie put it in. Now that's that. Now let's talk about Amaya. I keep telling y'all, and I've been saying this from the start, Zach does not like Amaya. And that was clear to me the way he keeps complaining about her crying, about her emotions and who she is. He keeps crying, like you keep saying the same thing, like you don't know that this is who Amaya is. And Amaya's never hid who she was. And I fear that that may be the problem for her. But she's never like hidden who she was. So for you to sit up here and to be like, and Zach to keep telling her she gotta calm down or don't do this or you don't need to act like this has always been trash for me. I felt like he was always telling her she was too much. And then when she spoke to him, now granted, Amaya needs to let people talk sometimes. She got to take a breath because it's giving very stressful trying to have a conversation with somebody like her. I wouldn't want that for me. But he sat up there and basically was telling her like, oh, you're too much. I don't want to move too fast with you because you're too much. But when you was in Casa, you was willing to move too fast with her so that you got you a seat in the house. You was willing to lock lips with her and tuck her down, all that other stuff to get you a seat in the house. And now all of a sudden she's moving too fast. She told you about the calling people bae and all that other thing before. And you acted like you was okay with that. You sat up there and acted like you was cool with that. Now all of a sudden that's moving too fast for you. You should have said that up front and not let her pick you then. You should have let her pick JD with his big teeth if that was the case. And then what blew mine is that Ace should have sat his ass down. And again, I'm not an Ace hater, but Ace did not. If you see somebody crying and they're standing up there and they're having a hard time because of information that is shared with them, why would you get up and be like, oh yeah, well, I was trying to tell you, this is not your time to shine, Ace. We don't need to hear you making a point. We didn't need to hear that. It wasn't your moment to shine. And then Austin, who even told you that you should be allowed to speak? You read the card saying that you shouldn't be here still. You read the card saying that you should have been home already. What made you think that we wanted to hear from you? And what's corny about Austin is that he definitely was walking around saying he was scared of Amaya at first. And then directly after he said he was scared of her, he decided to couple up with her. You've been lame. And the fact of the matter is that you're only on the show because people don't care enough about you to vote you off. We went an entire episode without hearing from Austin at all. I don't know if y'all realized that the episode before the last one, we didn't hear from Austin at all. Austin, all of them, they was in the sideline, gone. I keep forgetting that TJ and Iris are even on the show. Austin should never speak to us again. You're corny. The only reason you still on the show is because Shelly needed to stay in a couple while Ace played Ace games. Because Austin should have been gone, and he knows that. But the fact that they all piled onto Amaya like that was corny. And what I will say is, Brian, or whatever his name is, I like that he was saying that he comes from a Dominican household, and they call everybody babe, or you know what I mean, whatever. That I like that he defended her, because we needed somebody to intervene, because she's been saying the same thing. And I also will say that I feel like Amaya's been calling everybody babe. Why can't y'all leave it alone? I don't understand what the big deal is. She's not calling you her husband. Babe is something people say all the time to people. And again, I'm from New York, so there's mad Dominican people out here. People say babe all the time. Like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all are trying to pigeonhole her because y'all don't want her to feel her feelings. Y'all want to silence her. Y'all want her to shut the fuck up. Y'all want her to not express herself, so y'all are trying to humble her, and I feel like that's so childish because y'all all dogpiled her trying to humble her. And to me, y'all are all corny for that, and y'all can pack it up. That's how I feel. The Amaya situation really pissed me off something bad. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, let's get into the Ace situation. No, let's get into Huda. Huda, I need her out of my villa. I want Huda out of my villa. And I don't care what Huda stands are on this line. I want Huda out of my villa. Huda is corny to me. She's so corny. And let me go step by step about why she's especially corny. Because you literally sat up for 2 episodes crying and wanting Shelly to forgive you and telling everyone that Shelly won't talk to you and you just want your friendship back and you can't sleep at night because you can't believe Shelly's mad at you and you don't know why she's mad at you, going on and on and on. all for you to write a letter to Shelly saying that about, oh, why would you care so much? It's just a challenge. Are you sorry or not? And then this is the part that I don't like, because Shelly got up there and had to respond to the bullshit that Huda put in the mailbox. And this is why people are trying to say that Shelly is a mean girl. She literally is responding to the same person who's tried to apologize to her, that said she understood why she was wrong, all the things. And then you put in the mailbox that you felt like Shelly shouldn't be complaining because it's a challenge. And then you turned around and continued to try to apologize and said that you understood why you were wrong. So if you understood why you were wrong, why did you write that to Shelly? What made you do that? I'm confused. And then Huda standing up there crying just blows mine, because you act like the infinite, you act like the forever villain, the forever victim, and it's so childish. And every chance she gets, you moving funny. And I don't care what nobody says, Shelly is not wrong for telling everybody that they kissed in the hideaway, that Chris and Huda kissed in the hideaway. Because my thing is, Huda, you keep standing up here talking about being a girl's girl. And I feel like they've given Huda mad grace. It would be one thing if Huda never got grace before and people was just piling on her. Huda has had grace since the start of this. And it's interesting to me how people forget that Huda was the same one that was going on and on and on about Jeremiah, calling everybody out their name, calling everybody this or that. Nobody called her a mean girl when she was calling people the B word, when she was calling Jeremiah out his name, when she was calling the other girls the B word, when she was calling Amaya fake and all this other stuff because she wanted to explore with Jeremiah, when she was calling Iris fake because Iris wanted to explore with Jeremiah. Nobody was calling her a mean girl. Shelly simply said that I feel like you did too much and you're dead wrong for that. And now y'all trying to say she's a mean girl because Huda's crying. I don't care about her tears. Her tears can go fill up the ocean if she'd like at home. Send her home. You're corny to me. The other thing is, I don't even think her and Chris are really a match. Chris is trying to stay in the house and Huda is overly obsessive. And that's what it comes down to. But Huda is the farthest thing from the victim. Okay? But Nick telling her about herself, lock in. That to me was it. That was it. When Nick, I don't care what nobody say about Nick. He stands on business every time, and I can't be mad at him. Because not only did he sat her down before the challenge and said to her, I feel like you crossed the line. You did too much. And then after she opened the mailbox, he told her she should have been gone 2 times ago and Hannah should have still been here. And he signed his name. And then after he signed his name, he explained himself again. He literally has been very clear with her. You should have been gone and people are giving you too much grace and you need to go home. I can't be mad at Nick. I mess with Nick. Nick, he 100% would get my vote every time. It's like I can't be mad at him. And I'm gonna keep it G. Nick keeps it G with everybody, because even when he pressed Elon, whatever his name is, he kept it G with him. He was like, I'm not going to lie, I'm mad. I'm mad. It is what it is. Like, I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I felt like you're weird, blah, blah, blah. I can't be mad at nobody that's keeping it gangster, and Nick keeps it gangster. Period. That's it. Slow burn, slow bucks, nothing else. Let me get into Ace real quick, because before we get into Shelly, I want to get into Ace, and I'm going to explain why. Ace ate down when he cursed Austin out. He ate down. Ace literally, and you could tell he was fuming. Now, I don't know if he's 5'10". I think he might need to let that go because it's not giving 5'10", and maybe it's the camera angle. I don't know. But he ate down on Austin because Austin, please be quiet. Now, Austin wasn't completely wrong because Ace is the ringleader. He is the ringleader. That's true. People are following him. But I also don't think that Ace is lying. I can say Ace is a lot of things. Ace is not a liar. Everybody who is calling Ace a liar to me is strange, because Ace has not lied thus far. He has been very honest. Whether or not I like the way he's playing the game and do I think he's done Shelly wrong? Yes. But Ace has been very honest this entire time, and I can't take that away from him. Like, that's just what it is. And I don't think Ace is a bad person. I don't like the way he moves. I think he's a little bit childish, but I don't think Ace is a bad person. So I want to name that at the onset. And I respect the way he stood up for Amaya, but let me also say to y'all that what gets me tight about the situation with Amaya is that he could have been stood up for Amaya with Austin before this moment. You only cleared the room out for Austin because you was mad at Austin because he pressed you. You should have been stood on business about what you were saying and kept it pushing. That's what it is for me. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I appreciated him for standing up for her, but you should have been said it. And you also tried to clear Amaya when it was her trying to stand up there, and then you went and chased her. Don't try to fix it now. That was weird. And you should have been said something, but Austin did need to be checked because you was feeling a little too comfortable for me. Now, Shelly. Shelly, Belly, Ellie. Y'all will never make me hate Shelly. Ever. I don't care what y'all say or what y'all feel. Y'all can never make me hate Shelly. Here's what I'm going to say about the Shelly and Ace situation. Y'all are missing the point. Shelly continues to say the same thing over and over again, and so does Ace. The problem that is coming up is that Ace has an issue with Shelly exploring with Chris. That is his main issue. He keeps saying it. If y'all listen to what he's saying, he repeats it every time. I don't understand why these are the rules if you're still pursuing Chris. If Chris was not there, or if Coco was there, Ace would not have this problem. And that's the issue that Shelly's trying to explain. Also, let's be clear. The reason they're not closed off is because Ace still wanted to be Dora the Explorer. And Shelly has explained that several times. She keeps saying, we're not closed off because you said you wanted to explore still. If Ace would have picked Shelly when he picked Amaya, they could have been closed off a long time ago. He chose not to, and now you're trying to force her to close off because you don't like that she's exploring Chris. You're trying to force her to close off now because she's exploring Chris, and you don't like that. And in the past, Shelly hasn't had anyone to take seriously this whole time. So you felt confident in the fact that Shelly was always going to be there waiting for you. And then the minute that you saw she brought Chris back, now you feeling hot. It would be another thing if Ace continued to just say that he didn't want boundaries, period. I would be okay with that. I would be fine with that. But it's the fact that he keeps tying it to the fact that she's still pursuing Chris. That's the problem. And y'all are trying to overlook that because y'all want to make the woman look like the bad person as usual. That's trash and childish because you were allowed to explore the whole time and Shelly didn't force you to close off. She smiled and grinned and gritted her teeth the whole time while you played Christopher Columbus up in that villa and she was okay with it. And now that she's exploring one person who, by the way, she's not even really exploring. We found out last night that they don't even really talk. So while he's talking about, in the conversation they had where they sat down together, he literally was going on and on and on about how she kissed him and da-da-da-da and all this other stuff. And she kept saying, all we do is talk. And they don't even do that. And also, Ace already told us that he felt a way that Chris was there. He said it in the sauna with Taylor. What are we on? That's what he cares about. If that wasn't the case, then okay, I could hear what you are saying. The other thing is that Shelly, if Ace wants that to stop so bad, then ask Shelly to close off. You're not asking Shelly to close off because you're scared she's going to say no now. So instead, you're trying to make a big deal out of the fact that she's still exploring Chris, and she's not even still exploring him, which, by the way, Chris, you got to go. You got to go home. But let me close out on Shelly. I think Shelly did nothing wrong with Huda. Y'all only feel bad because y'all saw a lighter-skinned woman crying. That's why y'all felt bad. And y'all felt like it was because of Shelly. That's just what it is. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's why y'all all feel like Shelly was mean, was because y'all saw Huda crying her little tears. And y'all want to blame the dark-skinned woman for making a lighter-skinned woman cry, and we don't care. So that's that. Nothing Shelly said about Huda was wrong, and I don't care how y'all feel about it, if I'm being honest. So there's that. And also, Huda's always crying. She cries all the time. She's always crying, and she's always crying for no reason. And you're also, and Shelly already explained why she's mad at Huda, and she has been very respectful of Huda this entire time. And Huda has been playing in her face. The same thing with Chris. You said you brought him back in for Shelly, but you're not. You didn't really do that. Please move on, Chris. Now, why Chris? The reason Chris is annoying me is because you're not doing your job. And I'm not, here's what I'll say about Chris too. I'm not mad at Chris for not continuing to pursue Shelly, because I feel like Shelly is not giving him the time of day. She's not. Unfortunately, she put all her eggs in Ace's basket, who's playing in her face now. Do I think Chris really likes Shelly? Absolutely. Do I think Chris really likes Huda? Hell no. No, I think Huda's a pretty woman. Like, she's pretty. So it's easy to say that you're attracted to Huda because Huda's pretty. She's got a nice body. She's not an ugly person. I'm never a hater, so I'm never going to say that she's ugly. Huda is pretty. She's very pretty, and she has a great body. So I can understand why he's attracted to her. He doesn't like her. He does not like Huda. He does not like her as a person. He just needs to stay in the house. And then when he said, oh, I could be overseas playing basketball, but you're here. But you're here in the house. And y'all are both just trying to stay in the house. And so I understand why he could kiss her. I don't think he's faking his attraction physically to her. I think he's faking his attraction to her on a personal level. Like, Huda's it's easy to be attracted to somebody like Huda. She's pretty. I think all of the women in the villa, for the most part, are beautiful. So I can understand the physical attraction, but he already said, I tend to attract emotionally unstable women. Huda is literally the definition. She should be on a poster for the face of emotionally unstable women. She's literally emotionally unstable. Chris don't like her. Chris really likes Shelly, but Shelly's not giving him the time of day. And the truth of the matter is, I wish he would have applied more pressure, but I also feel like I guess I can see both sides. Let me say I can see both sides. I can see both sides for Chris and Shelly. Because for Chris, it's like, I'm not about to embarrass myself chasing you when you still sitting up here with Ace, and Ace is making you feel whatever type of way. And then on the other side for Shelly, if you're not applying mad pressure, what do I look like risking my couple with Huda, my chance to stay on the island, to chase you when you locked in with Ace, who won't even lock in with you? I can understand both perspectives, but I also feel like Chris said he liked Shelly, and I wanted to see him pursue it more. But Shelly I'm not going to lie, this is the only time I'm going to say, Shelly Belly Ellie, what is you doing? What is you on? Shelly could have did her big one in making him feel more comfortable with pursuing her. The way that Shelly and Ace are moving is uncomfortable for anybody to be able to pursue Shelly, because Ace is basically telling everybody that he wants to go to war about her. Which, to me, you should have been went to war about her. You waited mad long to go to war about her, and now you making it uncomfortable for anybody else. So I don't blame Chris. If I'm Chris and I'm looking at that situation, what am I supposed to do? What am I gonna do? You kept telling me how you really like this boy. You before we were together, all of that other stuff. What am I supposed to do? I feel like Chris is in an impossible situation, and I felt that way about Clark until she pissed me off.